When you say fix things, what do you mean by that? This was one of my problems. And this is one of the problems of a legalistic structure. If you believe, like I did, then you believe that you can offer to take the punishment or make the reparations for other people. You have told me a little bit about this Jesus fellow. Assuming everything that you have told me about him is true, then I would have to say that he is the only one who could have done this. I would say that he's still the only one that could have done it. That very well may be true. But my point is that I was trying to do something that could not be done. And my problem was that I believed I was good enough, and in fact blameless and upright, so that I could do it. It was my own arrogance that was getting in the way. Because I was so good, I assumed that I could do these things. I was putting myself in a position that I could not be in. So how did you get out of it? It was not easy. At first, my wife said I should curse God and be done with it. I was not ready to go that far yet, but I think it was because I was still overwhelmed with everything. I never did curse God, but I did curse the day I was born. I had finally arrived when I did that. I had finally arrived at my saturation point. I could not handle anything else to happen. So I cursed the day I was born and wanted everything to end. You know, I think that's kind of understandable given that everything that you were going through, and I think, I probably would have done the same thing or thought the same things if I were in your position. What brought you out of it? It was my friends that started the process. They showed up and stayed with us for a while and helped us work through, me especially, my grief and my anger, although they were not nearly as helpful as they thought they were being. What do you mean by that? That sounds like there's a story behind that kind of statement. That there is. My friends meant well. They meant very well. But they were offering me platitudes. These were the kind of words that we say to people when we're not sure what we really want to say. One of them said that I was missing out on how big God really is, and basically that I could not know what God had planned, and I shouldn't try. Another said that I should repent, and a third said that I deserved the punishment that I was suffering through. That's pretty harsh. I mean, have you talked with them about why they would say such things? You bet I did. As I said before, their hearts were in the right place, but they were trying to redirect my attention and my thoughts away from what happened. But in the process of doing this, they were placing the blame squarely on my shoulders. They were working in the same legalistic structure that I was working in. So their thoughts were that I was suffering through something like this, then I must have done something deserving of such punishment. But I replied back to them that I was not deserving of such punishment. No matter how much they argued against me and argued that I had done wrong, they were not convincing. I pointed out to them that there were many wicked people that go unpunished, and here I am, me, who has done everything that he is supposed to do, and yet I was the one who was being punished. I don't get it. So how did they help you if all they seemed to do was tell you how wrong you were? It's because for all the times that they were wrong, there was still truth in their words. None of them was completely right, yet they were not completely wrong either. As faithful as I was to God, I was still limiting who God is and the power that God has. As much as I knew about God, I did not really know God. I had built my own understanding of God that had never been tried before, and it was coming up lacking. So what changed? I had another friend that reprimanded all of us. He pointed out that what we were doing was reveling in our own self-righteousness. We were assuming that the world was revolving around us, and that we were the center of everything, and that our understanding of justice was what was most important. But isn't our understanding of justice important? I mean, shouldn't we understand what justice means and take offense when it's ignored? Yes, we should. But our problem was that we were not looking for anyone else. We assumed that we knew what was right, and that everyone else should work according to our understanding. Okay, so I get that part of it. I'm still not quite sure I understand where you're going with this. Could you elaborate a little bit more? It was the next conversation that I had, which was the most important. About that time, I heard this voice coming out of a whirlwind. It was God's voice. He asked me, where was I when the world was being created? He asked me, where was I in all of the parts of the world that he created and that he still watches over even today? He spoke at some length, and I began to understand. What happened to me was not punishment, as I viewed it. My view was too small, too limited. I was reminded that the world works in the way that God created it, but it's not a simple world, or a small world for that matter. What is not important is my own self-righteousness. That was getting in the way of seeing what I needed to see, which was that God was still there. Even for all the great power that God has, he was still talking to me, helping me to work through all of the things that I was facing. This was the key. God was there with me as I was suffering and hurting and angry. He put people in my life that, even as unhelpful as they appeared to be, they helped me to see past the small world and come to know God even more than I had ever known him before. In the end, I submitted myself to God like I had never done before, because I finally understood what it was that I was missing. Your challenge is to help them grow towards maturity, much like my friends helped me. Maybe not like my friends helped me. I think you can do a better job of it. That's a big challenge. Yes, it is. That's a challenge that we'll have to take up. Job, I want to thank you for talking with us today. My pleasure. Anytime. Take care of yourself, and God bless. And God bless you and your congregation too. Goodbye. Goodbye. Connection terminated. Have a nice day.